Hello and welcome everyone. Welcome to Corporate Pistons, episode 14. Adi,
Welcome.
how are you?
Technically, it's good. Technically, it's episode 15, I think, but who's keeping count?
You are apparently.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
So,
actually, I've lost track. That other countdown we have alongside episode 14. Now I've forgotten if it's one over or one behind. So I don't know if it's because if you look at it as episode 0, then it should be episode 13. I guess it's one behind. So
I,
sorry.
I think you have your own logic there. I'll just agree with you. It's episode 13. That's what we're naming it. Technically, it's the
Correct.
14th recording session, but
Yes,
no,
correct.
sorry, it's episode 14, and we technically it's the 15th recording session. There, you mixed
Okay,
it
so
up
I
for me as
was
well.
right. Okay, yeah, fair enough.
Uh, it's a mess, but here we are.
All
Yes.
right, gotcha.
All right. So, how are you, sir, this week?
Good. Just dealing with people not being in office all the vacation time. Still trying to
Yep.
get as much work done as possible because I don't want when people come back to people going crazy. So.
I
Which
see it.
also which also brings me to the point, like I don't quite have a corporate rant of the day or the week today, actually.
Okay.
Only because like the people haven't been in office, So
Well,
if you have any, get
I
started.
actually do have one. Yes, I do have a.
Okay.
And for once, I would like to turn this corporate rant of the week into a bit of a conversation topic with you
Okay.
because I'm very curious, what your experience and opinion is on this. Because yes, it is very much holiday season and it's in full swing. And
Hmm.
as you know, especially in project management, where projects go through different stages, at some point things are absolutely hectic and crazy.
Hmm.
Sometimes things are a bit more quiet or stable, let's say, when certain things are running in the background, but there's not a lot of items that require your direct input as a project manager.
Correct.
And when that sometimes tends to overlap with holiday season, I did experience 1 or 2 days recently that were extremely low on, let's say, critical workload. Like, sure, there are items to do in the back burner and like improvement projects, let's say, that can be run in the
Hmm.
background, or updating some Excel tables, or checking some old databases, archiving stuff, admin topics. But everywhere I look around me, everyone seems to be constantly busy all around me, and then I feel like I'm the only one that's just sitting there clicking my mouse just so it looks like I'm doing something. And I was just curious, is that something that, everyone goes through, 1 or 2 of those very quiet periods where there's literally not that much to do at that particular point or on that day? Or am I just missing the whole point of my work, and I'm doing something wrong here?
No, I don't think you're doing anything wrong. I think literally everybody goes through these down moments where there's not much happening. It's just, I think people are just better at hiding it and not talking about it because maybe they feel talking about it like brings attention on them, so unnecessary attention on themselves, or like they don't want other people to ask them to do things that they don't want to, or something like that. But last Monday, when this week actually, on Monday, the entire day up until 3 p.m. I honestly didn't have much to do. I mean, I obviously, just like you, I pulled up some old uh, portals, like our corporate
Yeah.
software stuff that we use within our company, and I had to update a bunch of stuff that was pending for a while. I did that. I updated some product pricing that was supposed to be entered or updated because it changes every year. things like that. I did those things, but even then, I would say I had a solid, I don't know, at least 2 to 3 hours of literally twiddling my thumbs. So uh, I'm not hesitant to say that because I do know when on the other side, like when things, when shit hits the fan and like I'm, literally drowning in work, I do buckle down and get work done, and
Mhm.
I work hard, so I don't care what people say, or if whoever's listening to this, even if our bosses end up listening to it, I honestly don't care anymore. But to answer your original question. Yes, I I go through it for sure. Um, and I'm of the strong belief that everybody goes through it. They're just one, they don't talk about it, or they're just better at hiding it. That's all.
Thanks for that. That's what I wanted to hear, to be honest.
Yeah, no,
Um,
seriously. I've wondered this a couple of times myself.
yeah, because end of the day, I'm like, how is it that everyone around me is constantly busy or looks busy at least?
Yeah,
But
exactly.
surely that
And
can't be.
yeah, exactly. And Tuesday, this past Tuesday, I was actually in the office because I didn't want to sit at home, and it's our team day anyway, so we're expected to come into the office. So I went, and there were a couple of people, not many. There was like 4 or 5 people total for our entire department, or at least our entire group. And I feel bad saying this, but I did sort of keep an eye on what others are doing because I did have moments where I didn't really have much to do. Um, and I sort of kept an eye, like I kept observing from the corner of my eye, not really digging deep into like what exactly they're doing. People were just chatting with other people, and it wasn't about work. Like there were, like other
Yeah,
coworkers, somebody from Brazil maybe, or somebody from India, somebody from UK, got whatever, whatever be the case. They were just chatting. It was all just like smiley faces and this and that. I'm like, okay, well, that's clearly not work. So I'm just gonna keep quiet and do my own thing.
yeah.
So yeah, so that's the reason I can, and I've done this a couple of times in past years also during these holiday season, and people just hide better or mask themselves better.
I honestly believe that the 45-minute coffee breaks every now and again with your colleagues just to chit chat some random shit and just, disconnect
Yeah,
for a bit is an essential part of of a healthy work environment. Simply
mm.
because it does reset you and get you in the mood to start focusing on whatever other task might
Yeah,
pile up in your inbox afterwards.
yeah,
I do
yeah,
feel like
exactly.
it's a good and beneficial disconnect.
It is.
Um,
It is.
it's just a bit harder when it is holiday season and you're, one of the few people in office or worse, you're working from home and you
Yeah,
cannot, resonate with other people. It just everyone seems to be busy and they show up as busy on Teams or in a meeting or in a call or whatever. It
yeah,
just gives the impression that, yeah, you're the only thumb twiddler around and you're doing something wrong. And
exactly.
in the end, I guess that is my corporate rant of the week. That the corporate culture and the normal tendency in this sort of situation is, like you said, to try and hide it or pretend that you are overly busy even when you're not.
You're
Whereas
not.
I
Yeah,
think
exactly.
the corporate world would be a much happier and cheerful environment if every once in a while, people would be encouraged to just stick their hands up and be like, you know what, I'm I'm done right now. I'm free. I'm gonna take my half an hour coffee break or something today, and I'll deal with more shit when it lands in my inbox, something like that.
I wish that was the case. I really do, but unfortunately, it's not.
Yeah.
Um, but anyway,
Yeah, well, maybe we'll start changing the world one half a listener at a time.
half a listener at a time. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. All right. So with that out of the way, and my
Hmm.
morale being slightly on the up again, what are we talking about today, Adi? What's our main topic for today?
So agreed spontaneously fairly recently on software, internal software, and AI, and just software in general in the corporate workplace. I thought it's a good topic because I have multiple things to say about it, or at least not just say, but like I need to ask what you think and maybe what our viewers think. Um,
Hmm.
so we can get started if you want.
Yeah, for sure. So when it comes to software, and I think you already mentioned and touched it during your rant section. We are using all sorts of different platforms and all sorts of different software tools in our day-to-day
Hmm.
jobs as part of the job. It comes with the territory. There are those tools are needed, and I don't know. I think it might be a similar experience for you. I feel like a lot of the systems and the software tools that we use, most of the
Mm.
time, they look like an MS-DOS window and they operate in like micro years when it comes to processing time for a task. Because you literally can ask for a report to be generated, go to the toilet, go grab a coffee, come back, and maybe the report would be ready if the darn thing didn't crash in the meantime. Um,
I think I know which specific tool that we use in our company you might be referring to. Of course, I won't say it, but um,
it's a three-letter acronym or name, so
yes,
yeah, I
I
think
know.
we're yeah.
Yeah.
And I know our company is not the only one using
Oh no,
that software,
not
so.
just, it's not just a company. I know somebody who works in the government sector. Like they literally work for the German state government here, and even they
Mhm.
use it, and it's similar situation.
Yeah.
No, that's a yeah, three-letter word. That's a fantastic place to start. So that's one that does bother me. I do hugely appreciate the capabilities that it has and how it can sort of encompass an entire industry supply chain from start to finish.
Mhm.
I think it's a very powerful software with the functionality that it has, but the implementation and the upkeep and maintenance of it and the day-to-day usage is a nightmare. I am completely with you on that one.
The
Um,
way I associate that in general corporate software, especially, I'm 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 not entirely sure how it feels in the startup world or in the high-end tech companies, where I imagine I like to think things are a lot more agile and intuitive.
mhm.
But for the traditional corporate world, the way I associate these systems, it's like. One of those old diesel locomotives from like the 70s, where, like you said, immensely powerful,
Yeah,
immensely capable once it gets up to speed, but
right.
actually
But
operating the
getting there,
darn thing and
yeah,
building it up to speed and keeping it running is
yeah,
an absolute
it,
nightmare held together by
it is.
miracles and duct tape.
It is pretty much. It is. I absolutely agree. Um, What you mentioned slightly on the startup side, so I'll just give you my take because I am in the startup world
Yes,
also.
please.
Uh, Obviously, I can't speak for every single startup in the world, but in
On
this
this
day and
podcast, you
age,
can.
yeah, no, but I'm just saying, in this day and age, uh, majority of the startups or smaller companies, let's say less than or up to 500 employees, or maybe even 1,000 employees, there are tools and systems that I use, and I'm sure thousands and thousands of other small companies use that are so much faster and better, and they keep getting new updates, and especially now with the advent of AI,
Mm-hmm.
there are certain things that I do for marketing, which literally 2 to 3 years ago took me like a task that would take me a week to do. These days, I get it done in 3 hours. I am not even joking.
Wow.
Like I timed myself just to see, because I remember this one time I was doing the exact same task like 2 years ago, and it took me like a week and a half, and it felt like infinity. It never ended, and when it did, I'm like, man, all that work for this, like the result was a small list of leads for marketing that I need to contact. And
Hmm.
now, literally, that same thing, I'm done in half a day, in like 3 hours. I timed myself, and it's incredible. And that's just one example. Same goes for finance, same goes for accounting. Like, I use all these like new tools. I literally just like upload a bunch of stuff. It reads everything, puts everything in its right place, and I'm good to go. It's even like tax ready for the next tax year. I don't have to do anything, and
Nice.
and even generating the report for like the tax season or whatever, it's seconds. Then again, my company is not like a $70 billion company like the one we work for, but that doesn't mean that things can be changed for the better. And that's
And
that's where I have a couple of things that I want to mention.
yes, please go
um,
ahead.
So there's in the company that we work for, there's one thing that's, I guess this is you can count this as my rant of the week also, and the topic for today. I feel like our company where we work is so lost sometimes, or maybe lost is the wrong word. To put it bluntly, I think there are too many cooks in the kitchen. You know what I mean? Too many chefs making the broth. Because um, sometimes I hear, oh, they're gonna uh, custom develop their own software to do certain things. Particularly, they were looking at some sort of like samples logistics tool or whatever. I'll We can talk about this some other time, but obviously I can't mention names or things here. But so then I said, okay, that's great. Like, what are the benefits? Like, how is it going to speed things up, or how is it going to make things better? And they said, blah blah blah. They gave me a list of bullet points. I said, oh, okay, that's cool, fair enough. And then, like, literally 2 weeks later, this was a couple of months ago. 2 weeks later, I heard someone else say, "Oh, yeah, there's a good chance that might not happen anymore. Now they're just gonna purchase some third-party software and try to customize it for our usage
Oh
in the
boy.
company." So now, literally, we are at a stage where I actually myself, for one of my projects, I need to use a tool like this to make some samples happen for a particular customers,
Hmm.
and now nobody knows which tool is the one to be used, or if there is actually a tool that we should be using. No one has any clue, and now they're all running around in circles like chickens without a head. And I'm
This.
thinking to myself, okay, so you've spent all this time and money
Hmm.
developing this software, which you're not going to use anymore. It's scrapped. And then now you're gonna try and use third party because some idiot said so, and that doesn't work, off the shelf, off the box, straight out of the box. It needs to be customized for our massive corporation, obviously.
Hmm. That's
So
gonna
now
take a million years and a ton of money.
years and 25 million euros for that. And in the end, we're still left with not being able to do our job properly, and it doesn't go, and it
Hmm.
doesn't work. And I'm thinking to myself, if this is the state, the reason why this really bothers me, the brass tacks of it, is that first they're reducing hours, and then they told us they have no choice but to let a couple of hundred people go in certain very specific targeted areas where there's literally no productivity. Okay, you're spending all this money and time on a stupid software, and yet, on the other side, you say you have no choice but to let people go or reduce people's hours or not keep the
Yeah.
regular pay coming in. And it boggles my mind. I just don't understand. I understand that it's a complex system with millions of projects and millions of people working. But it cannot be that hard to get the management together and make solid decisions. This is an issue that, every division in our corporate world goes through. It's not a problem that's common to one
Yeah, because
sector.
like you said, it's the too many cooks in the kitchen situation, and
Exactly.
it is one of
Exactly.
the side effects or direct consequences of the
Exactly.
matrix organization or matrix management structure that we have. Because
Yeah,
every now and
exactly.
again you reach a certain business area where the lines intersect each other, and those are the
Yeah,
points where you all of a sudden you go from like a very clear linear management structure to a point it's like a massive junction with a roundabout that's on fire, and then you
yeah,
have like four different managers all of a sudden. None of
exactly.
them will speak to each other because they all belong to different silos, so to speak. And obviously, none of them wants to escalate because none of them wants to be the guy bringing it up to even higher management, which is basically God level on Olympus at that point. And yeah,
Correct. Yeah, exactly. That is exactly my point. And it sucks. I hate it. And I just genuinely wish that they would they would at least like consider or just speak with a few people who use these tools every single day and ask them, hey, what should be better? What can we do to help make your life easier? It, something like that would be so much easier
honestly,
to
what we could do,
implement.
we could just invite regular users of different systems on our podcast, have them do the rant of the week just
There's
for
a
sessions
piece of software.
on their software. List all the things that are not working properly, and then we just send the link to the YouTube episode to our higher management one day and be
to,
like, minutes 1 to 5, just listen to it.
to
5 minutes of your
to the
time,
to the
fix it.
headquarters to the headquarters because we know somebody who works there. We have a mutual friend who works there at the headquarters now. So
Yeah, exactly. So we'll just
so
be
we just
like,
send
hey,
it to her and
fix
can you
it.
please deal with this?
If
Oh
only
man.
we could send anonymous emails in our own organization. That would be my next step.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah,
but
yeah.
now I just announced my great master plan, so I think it'll be pretty easy to narrow down to who's
To,
sending
to
because that's
narrow down.
either you
Yeah,
or me.
yeah.
Yeah.
And which sort of brings me back to the next sort of part B of the same topic, if I may, or unless you have
hmm
more to say.
No, no, I'm still with you here.
Okay, so the part B of it is the AI part, right?
Yeah.
Um, so they did introduce this Chat GPT like tool within our company. I don't know if you've used it.
Yeah.
It's pretty. It's okay. It's nothing to brag about. Um,
Yeah.
but just having that, it's not enough like for real productivity. There are so many things in my day-to-day tasks where I could use AI just to say, do that, do this, finish this up, or summarize this, or send an email to this person saying this and that. Like it these things would save a couple of minutes here, a couple of minutes there, but when you add it up, you can literally save like
Hours.
2 to 3 hours a day. Yeah, exactly, per person. And when you look at productivity, it actually genuinely increases. But no, I'm sure this is true for many other corporate big companies as well. But and they're all like, oh no, data security, this and that. They've already like there are companies that are far beyond that. They've protected their thing. There's a way to seal everything within the company, but still use its functionality and feature. No, we of course we don't get that.
But one
Go on.
Sorry to jump in here, but
No, no, go
one
on.
thing here on the AI topic in particular, I think
Mhm.
also the adoption rate within the corporate workflow of things.
Yeah.
I don't know how, uh, at least our company, but I'm sure it's the case in other companies, when it comes to the corporate rollout of AI usage, they somehow
Hmm.
manage to overcomplicate it and just make it
It is.
seem a lot more complicated. And, uh, I'm personally reluctant to use the chatbot tool or the chat GPT like tool that we have, simply because
Yeah.
we got an email saying it's here, here's the link to it, and then there was like half a page of big bold red items that we shouldn't do with it. And
Yeah.
then they were like, oh, and also please use it just experimental for now. Don't trust it
Yeah.
100%. You're still in control. And I'm like, well, you just told me basically, here's a tool, but it's kind of half broken. You're not allowed to do a million things with it. And also, please be careful. It might burst in flames. It's like I'm happy to use ChatGPT now more and more in my day-to-day life,
Yeah.
privately for bits and
Yeah.
bobs.
Yeah.
But when it comes to work, I used it a couple of times when I really wanted some central directives being summarized because I was
Yeah.
given
Yeah.
a PDF with 80 pages and be like, please, can you get yourself familiarized with this standard? I'm like, yeah, sure. No, fuck that. ChatGPT, please, bullet points, five main ideas.
That's literally the only reason I use that tool we got as well. Somebody recently asked me like, "Oh, hey, can you please use the central directive to prepare XYZ letter to the ABC customer?"
Hmm.
Like,
Yeah.
well, okay, I don't even know which central directive you're talking about, but fine. And then I went into that tool and then I literally typed that in and it gave me the one and I asked the person, "Oh, is this the one you're talking about?" And they said yes, and I'm like, okay, fine. And I just wrote, made that bot write the letter.
Yeah.
Um, but it's so sad because if
There's more to it. I know there must be more to the world of AI
no,
than
there is
just.
more to it. That's what I'm trying to say. Like for my startup, I use AI left and right. I know where its limits are. Don't get me wrong; it's not perfect, and neither should you trust on it or rely on it 100%. I completely get that, and I'm fully aware of it, and I do it. But for the majority of the time, or for the majority of the sort of mind-numbing monotony tasks, it is an absolutely killer tool that we could absolutely use within our company as well. But we
Hmm.
don't because of all the reasons you just mentioned.
Yeah.
There's like so many red tapes. I'm like, what's the point then? Like, then don't give us or don't tell us about this until you're 100% sure that it's ready to go. Like,
Yeah, That
it's
that's why I'm
it's
gonna take a
ridiculous.
minute. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So anyway, that's it really. So yeah, so the other thing is like going back to the overall software stuff, like every division, every sector in our company seem to use like a different tool to accomplish the same task. So
Yes.
when there are tasks or when there are things that need to cross, uh, you know, cross
We
sectors
don't
or
do that.
cross divisions, yeah, there's chaos and confusion, and no one knows how to do it or which tool to use, and
Oh
it's
yeah.
just it's horrible. I think it is ridiculous.
Yeah. I think the only consistent bit of software that is used throughout the entire company, and I think we can all agree on that, is Excel and PowerPoint.
Excellent
Like,
PowerPoint and Outlook, yeah.
yeah, and Outlook, yeah, for better or worse.
Yeah. Outlook,
And
yeah,
Teams.
for better or for
Yeah.
yeah. Teams
Um,
also new actually. Teams is not Teams is not. I was supposed to get in touch with a sector of our company that's in Australia, believe it or not, far away. And they were a new addition to our company.
mhm.
Uh, and they refuse and don't have Teams. I
There's only
contacted the
something up with the
person.
Australians.
I
That's,
contacted them like so their name popped up in Teams because they're part of our network now.
yeah.
But there was no like it only showed that they were offline. So first I thought, oh, okay, maybe it's the holiday season, they're off. No, but like after 2 weeks they were still not back. And everybody from there that department was offline. I'm like, okay, something stopped. So I sent an email, and then they said, "Oh yeah, we don't use Teams. We don't like it. We use Zoom." I'm like, "Oh, good Lord." Okay,
Zoom, the
fine.
one app that's under a corporate firewall for us in the rest of the other
Yeah,
world, and we
yeah. Apparently, that's yeah, exactly. So
lovely.
Teams is, I think Excel and Word and
PowerPoint,
yeah, Excel and Word and Outlook are the ones.
the Holy Trinity. And
Yeah.
just to go back a bit to the I thing, and Teams, I don't know if you may notice, but now I at least got a notification a couple of weeks back that Teams has now this AI chatbot tool incorporated in it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I haven't really played around with it much, but now I'm just
Mm.
sitting there thinking, I'm waiting for that email with the red tape saying, please don't use that the Copilot feature, I think it's called, or something like that,
Oh,
for
Copilot. Yeah,
sensitive
yeah,
information or whatnot. And I'm like,
yeah.
sure, we're sending very sensitive files between the colleagues on Teams, or we're sharing presentations left and right, and we're
Yeah.
talking about topics left and right, but don't put it in the AI of the same messaging tool or something.
Hmm.
I don't know. Like I said, I feel like I feel like the tools that we have, like you said, are very powerful and very capable.
Hmm.
But like you said very well in the beginning, the implementation for a lot of them is not the best, let's say.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the rollout of the new technologies, the new wave of tools, and especially AI, I feel like the bigger the company, the harder it is to get everyone on board and use them to their full potential, or at this point even half of their potential would be great.
Yeah. Exactly. No, I fully agree. I do want to hear how it is at other companies from our maybe two and a half listeners, if there are other people from other companies listening.
Yeah, if any of our listeners are from another company, could you please pitch in, like, do you like
Well,
the software in your company? Does it work? Does it inspire you to be productive? Or do you just dread life just looking at that loading bar icon or whatever you have?
yeah, exactly. Please share your thoughts with us. We are interested and we are curious.
Indeed. But yeah, no, I think we
That's
could
all I had.
complain. Yeah, I think we could
Yeah,
complain for days on the software topic, and
I agree. Yeah.
honestly, I would be more than happy to pitch this idea to our management, where we will take listeners from within the company. They pitch their top two or three rants about a specific software or process step every week, and then they can just
Oh gosh.
listen. It will be my take of Diary of a CEO. We'll just send it
Yes,
to our
yes.
board events and be like, this is the actual Diary of a CEO,
See,
except
yeah,
it's written by the poor peasants working at on your
at the
ranch.
bottom of the food chain. Yeah,
Literally,
exactly.
yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree. It is a. I think it was a good topic to discuss and vent out a little bit. So now we all
And
feel
I'm
better.
sure it's gonna be one that we will revisit because I,
Agreed.
I just heard this week that the one piece of flashy new software that was just recently, over the last 2, 3 years, I remember massive
Mhm.
efforts in trying to get it onboarded
Yeah,
and
I
everyone to
know which
use
one
it.
you're talking about. They have a big tower in San Francisco. Yes,
And they sponsored Formula One, or used to a couple of years ago.
used to, used to. Yeah,
Yeah. Now I hear, just as I'm going through painstakingly long trainings and battling my way every day, one email at a time to figure out what I'm supposed to do with it, I just
yeah.
heard it's about to be rolled out or discontinued next year or whenever in the near future. So I'm
Fantastic.
like, why am I struggling now with it? Like,
Yeah.
anyway, it's a long list of potential complaints here. Um, but I guess we should also, count our blessings that at least we're not sending telegrams and doing all the
Pigeons,
calculations with
carrier
a
pigeons.
abacus or something. Yeah,
Yes, carrier pigeons. We should go back to it. I strongly believe that. Write a small note, attach it to its feet with a thread, and then let it fly.
yeah, but then people will say they didn't do your test because the pigeon never arrived because they ate it or something.
It's fine. It's not my problem. Anyway,
Uh, so shall
anyway.
we move over to cars then?
Yes, let's move to cars. What are you feeling today? What's on the docket? You said you're about to go on a small trip for a friend's birthday to good old England this
Yes.
weekend. So,
Yeah, exactly. The good thing is this episode is coming out after said birthday because it is a surprise birthday party. So,
okay.
and said friend I know is a listener. So, hello,
Oh,
happy
okay.
birthday. It was nice to see you over the weekend. Um, but yeah, the interesting thing is I actually had to um, travel around this week before my departure to good old England.
hmm
And because my dad, his car was in the service and he didn't have a car, Hector
Mm.
migrated to my dad's for a little while,
Oh,
which left
nice.
me carless for the past few weeks. Obviously, I was on
Mm.
holiday and I have my motorcycle, so I didn't really miss the car. But
hmm
for this trip, I ended up having to hitchhike my way to Bucharest,
Oh, good
and
God.
well, not hitchhike, but BlaBlaCar, virtual hitchhike, where you find someone random that goes in that direction, and they decide to take you on board. It's all through an app and stuff. And I ended up in the back seat of a nice little Skoda Octavia, um, 2-liter diesel. It's like, the workhorse of Eastern Europe. It's uh,
It, it,
it's the trusty
it's the
2.0 diesel from the VW group. It's just,
VW Group, yeah.
yeah,
EA888, I believe, is the engine
yeah,
number for that.
it's the new 1.9 ALH, I think it was,
Yeah,
the
yeah, yeah,
that
yeah.
that thing was built like a tank in like the Golf 4s and stuff and 5s. No, Golf 4s.
Yes,
And then
yeah,
now the 2.0 diesel is taking over.
yes.
Um, the only, it was the 150 horsepower version, so not the most powerful thing under the sun. But
hmm
the one thing I realized I was sitting in the back seat and admiring it was just how how quietly and low revving that engine was on the highway.
It
Because we
is,
were
yeah.
easily doing, like 150 kph, and the engine was just barely above 2000 RPM.
Yeah, yeah, it is, yeah.
And I was just thinking back to Hector and the Mini Cooper, where I have to be at like 4.5, 5,000 RPM to keep moving at like those kind of speeds, like over
It's
140.
right. Yeah.
But I'm not saying I
It's a
would transition to a diesel right now. I was just thinking
no, but
it was
it is a
nice.
workhorse engine. Yeah, it for long distances it does make like my car, the Mercedes, it does have a 2-liter diesel as well, and it's the same 150 horsepower. Uh, but it's peppy. Like it gets up and goes. And on long distances, like on the highway, even when I'm doing 150, 160, just like you said. Also, mind you, the Mercedes has a 9-speed automatic gearbox.
Oh, damn.
Even at 160, 170 kph, I barely hit, like you said, 2000, 2300 RPMs. That's it. It's so quiet. That's the advantage with diesel. They really are the workhorses. Like, to blast down a country up and down, that's really what you need. That's all you need, actually.
Yeah, if you want to blast through the country like with a lot of noise and speed, then yeah, petrol might be the way. But for comfort and cruising, then diesel all the way. Yeah,
Yeah. Also,
and
economy, Like, honestly, if I'm doing just straight 120, 130, not speeding much, like just keeping it under control,
Mhm.
my car honestly averages 4.9, 4.7 to 4.9 liters per 100 kilometer, which is about 52, 53 UK miles per gallon, roughly
And
speaking.
now can you convert that to US gallons per mile just just for shits and
It's
giggles?
around 45 US miles per gallon, 45, 50 US miles per gallon.
You did that a lot quicker than I thought you would. Sorry. I was trying to box you into a corner there, but clearly failed.
No.
Yeah, but then again, I do remember a time a few years ago. I had a BMW 1 Series
Mhm.
diesel, the 125 diesel,
Yeah,
and
it's a
I had
great
like
car, great
a
engine.
stage one software on it. So that
Hmm.
thing was pushing like, I think I had it on the dyno and it pushed like 265 brake horsepower or something,
Nice.
and like 500 something newton meters of torque. And
Yeah,
manual gearbox, but that thing was proper happy, like,
yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
yeah,
I can imagine.
fuel consumption was for the amount of abuse that car was giving to other cars on the road. The fuel
Yeah, it
consumption
was very
was really
respectable.
good, like 7 or 8 liters to 100 kilometers, which I'll
Yeah,
let you translate for our British and American listeners, if any, how much it
it's
works out.
about 30 miles per gallon for US and 35 for UK, I think. Roughly speaking. Don't hold me, don't hold me to it, but yeah, roughly
Uh,
speaking, that's where it comes.
Yeah, to our
25 to
listeners,
30.
you can use your AI tools and
Yeah,
work
please
it
chat
out.
GPT it. Yes, exactly.
Yeah, exactly. But
So that's your car then. Octavia
uh,
2-liter diesel workhorse.
no, 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 no. Wait. I just said it was a nice change of perspective. No, 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 no. Right. I'm not going to choose my car of the weekend as an Octavia. No, I'm not there yet. I'm not 60. There's still some life and hope and dreams in me.
Good.
Um, but one thing I would like to give it a go, and this thing just popped into my head right now because I was panicking trying to think of the most anti-Octavia car that I could think of. Uh, what's the polar opposite of a Skoda Octavia 2.0 diesel? And the thing
Hmm.
that came to my mind for some reason is the Ford Focus RS.
Ooh, nice. Yeah.
Like that sort of, fun hatchbacky, uh, quirky engine, very powerful type thing. So
Yeah.
that's what I would go for. Either the latest generation in like that electric blue color that they had,
Hmm.
or the previous gen. I think that was the Mach 2 or Mach 3 RS.
Hmm.
In that crazy lime green Need for Speed like color. Like those are um that's what I would go for.
Interesting. But RS Ford Focus RS has always been a fairly good car.
I do have one
So.
story that comes in mind with the Ford Focus, and again I
Hmm.
cannot remember what the generation was. It was a 2010 or 11-ish Ford Focus RS.
Hmm.
In lime green, and I remember, again, this is me from a previous life, back when I
Hmm.
was spending my Friday evenings with a certain entourage that may
Hmm.
or may not used to like to gather at the outskirts of a city late at night where there was a straight bit of road for various reasons. And because I was this young, very skinny dude.
Rebel.
No, but the thing was, my weight back then was bang on around 50 kgs, like I was feathers.
Hmm.
And because
Hmm.
of that, I used to be shuffled around cars as dead weight. So wherever there was a imbalance in horsepower between two cars, the caveat was that one of them had to take me as a passenger because I was like bang
To
on
put the
50
weight
kgs.
penalty. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And I remember I was sitting in the passenger seat of said Ford Focus RS. And
Hmm.
the one thing that I vividly remember, it was a rolling start. and that thing was burning rubber in third gear on kickdown. It was like a stage one or a stage two RS, so it was
Mm,
pushing well over 400 brake horsepower, but
mm.
it was burning rubber in third, and I was just like,
Nice.
that's what I want.
Nice.
Um, but yeah, that's my trip down memory lane, and never got a chance to drive that car myself, but would love the chance to give one of those a go.
Cool. Very cool. Good story indeed that you were used as a ballast.
Mate, I had the time of my
Uh,
life because I didn't have my license back then, so that was the closest thing I could get to, and I got to sit in a
yeah,
bunch of cool, heavily tuned cars because of that.
yeah,
So I'll
yeah,
take it.
yeah. Cool. Um, I have a so I'll make it quick
Hmm.
because we are almost out of time, and I do need to get going as well. Uh, my car choice is very, very weird and peculiar, and
As usual.
it's a company that doesn't even exist anymore.
Okay.
And the car that I want this week, that I would prefer to be in this week, is
Mm-hmm.
a Saab 95 Aero 2-liter TDI,
Ooh.
of course, from
Okay.
or even the 2.9 V6. Either one, it doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
That in a silver color, um, with slightly
Okay.
tinted, like slightly blue tinted glass. That's what I want to be in this week. It's a
Very
barge. Yeah.
specific, but I like it.
The reason is, I saw one of these on the road last week, but it was not in the best shape. It was like a dark reddish color, and like it wasn't in the best shape. It looked beat up, and yeah. But I went home that day and I read some reviews, and it's actually, it was based on the Opel Vectra or the Vauxhall Vectra
Mm-hmm.
for you UK folks. Um, but Saab being Saab, and the reason why they went bust is because they didn't just rebadge any car. Even though their management told them they just had to rebadge it and not change anything, this is the reason they went bust, apparently, because they never took that to heart and they changed everything about the car and made it freaking fantastic to drive. So apparently, like, that is one car brand I've never driven. Like, I've never driven a Saab. I want to drive it. But every review I saw or read, was good. Like they said, like, man, these cars are really, really well engineered. It's just too they were losing like 3 grand on every car they sold because Saab over engineered what was supposed to be a rebad job. So I really, really, and I think like compared to like a Skoda Octavia or Skoda Superb or a VW Passat or even like a Audi A6 or a Mercedes BMW 5 Series. Saabs are just that slightly off-brand weirdness, but still kind of quirky and
They're
cool.
quirky but cool. Yeah,
Yeah, they're quirky
exactly.
and cool. Yeah, exactly. That's the only way to describe a Saab for me. And I really, really want one. And I found one for 12 grand on the German classifieds. And I'm so interested to go test drive it. But it's a bit far away from my house. So it's like 300 kilometers. I don't really want to do
I'm
it. But if I get the chance, I would so go and test drive that car.
I'm looking
And
right
that's the car I
now
want.
because I took my phone. I'm looking right now at a Saab 93 Aero Cabrio with a
Yeah.
1.9 diesel engine for about 6,000 euros. Or greenish, I don't know what the flip this color is, but it looks mint and it doesn't have a lot of miles on the dash either. Honestly, now I'm interested because it is a quirky but cool car, and
Car.
I've
It really is.
never
I don't know
never
that
driven
that
one either.
95 Aero is huge, and I watched some YouTube videos over the weekend, last weekend, and it's fantastic. Oh man, it's awesome. I don't know. I just want to drive it. I want to own it for a couple of months and just give it away. Just experience it. And the 9.5 Aero was the last car that Saab ever made. So yeah, I'm very curious. I think even today, I think it's aged well, and I think it looks super cool. The 9.5 Aero
Yeah, for sure it does.
from
It
from
does
from
look
2010, 2011. Yeah, exactly. Anyway,
Mhm.
that's it. That's my car of the week.
Nice. And I think we're bang on overtime now.
Bang
So
on overtime. Perfect.
yeah. So yeah, no, thanks a lot for sharing that, and I fully agree with you. I thank you. You've put a love of subs back in my mind. So God knows what I'm gonna end up buying next if I ever sell Hector. So yeah, no, thank you very much, everyone, for listening.
No,
Um,
thanks. Thank you for
in
making
in
it happen.
reward for this well executed car of the week section, Adi, I will take away your burden of the week, and
Oh, thank you.
I will
It's
ask
such a
our listeners, if you enjoyed the episode, please do give us a like, a share, please a subscribe, and as we mentioned earlier, please do reach out via Instagram or email or YouTube comments or whatever you want, and do let us know, how does the software in your company behave? Do you enjoy it? Do you hate it? Tell us about your favorite car. Tell us about what you would like to drive this week. And yeah, just let's have a conversation here. And
yeah.
thank you very
Please do
much for
start a
joining.
conversation because it'll give us more topics to bring into life as well and discuss that and poke some jokes at it as always.
Indeed. But in the meantime, hope you have a great week ahead. Thank you very much for listening, and we will catch you in the next one. Take care.
Goodbye. Wish you the best.
Bye.
Toodles.